This is such an unprecedented time in life. Tonight, in the story time I did for children, I invited them when the story was over for them to think about the things that make them happy. And I hope that they're doing that with their families. And it made me think about all the different ways that life has changed for us, and I'm going to invite you to do the same thing. Think about the things that make you happy. It makes me happy, for example, to see you at church. It makes me happy to hear the choir sing. It makes me happy to watch basketball in March, especially Duke basketball, but I love it all. And there are going to be people who, when they think of the normal things that make them happy, they're going to say, I know, but there are people who are suffering a lot more than I am. And that's absolutely true. And I thank you for having a good enough heart to know that the stay-at-home sacrifices that you and we are making right now are not nearly as severe as medical workers on the front line in places like New York or New Orleans or more and more places all around the country. You're exactly right. And it's a good impulse to know that you're not the worst, your suffering is not the worst suffering. But I'm going to invite us to pay attention to the things that we're grieving the loss of, and now the upcoming loss of being able to worship together for Easter is almost unspeakable to me. Never been in a situation like that before. So it's a time of grieving, and I want us to take that seriously only because God is a great healer. And it will be an opportunity for us to see the things we actually can live without, and the things where we can find new meaning, new appreciation, and new depth in terms of what really makes us happy. And in addition to that, I'd like for you to pay attention in your heart to those people that you know who are already struggling. That is, they were already going through cancer treatments, or they were already going through family stress, or they were already going through a difficulty, whether it's with health or relationships or financially. I mean, people are going through a lot. We've had people in our congregation whose parents have died during this time. I mean, or people you know who have had a death in their family recently in the last year. They're going through this double. When you've already got almost all you can manage, and then on top of that you have a pandemic. And so I'm asking you to reach out to those people that you know, reach out in personal ways, and to find some way to lift and encourage and speak a word of grace. And to those who are rightly afraid of family members and friends in the medical community, our EMS personnel, our hospital workers, our police and fire. I have written our love and prayers to every one of our emergency departments and medical care providers this week to say we're doing all we can to protect you. And dear friends, when you think about it, it's a real blessing to be able to help save a life by staying home. I mean, come on. So I am saying that my heart goes out to you, and you are part of what makes me happy. I miss seeing you. I miss our hugs. I miss smiles. I miss music. I miss our gatherings. All of those things are part of what makes me happy. But I have learned that God is with us, and that our love is not bound to those physical times that we're face to face. So I hope that we will model for our children what we want them to see in terms of how you face a crisis as we go through this together. I hope that you'll join us for live stream on Sunday morning at 10:55. And I want to close by reading a poem I first got from Bev Copley, and I have adjusted it a little bit, but I think it gives us just the inspiration we need. And it says this: history will remember when the world stopped and the flights stayed on the ground and all the cars stayed parked on the streets and everybody stayed home. And history will remember when schools closed and the children stayed indoors and the medical staffs walked through the fire and did not run. And history will remember when choirs were formed through virtual collaboration, individuals on Facebook, but oh so very much together in harmony, courage, and song. And history will remember when people fought for their old and weak and protected the vulnerable by doing nothing at all. And history will remember when the virus left and houses opened and the playgrounds rang again with the cheerful voices of joyful children. And history will remember when it was safe for people to gather and they treasured health and hugs and handshakes like they were precious, never again to be undervalued treasures. And history will remember when, at a safe time, people started again, kinder and wiser than ever before. May it be so.